Hi, boys and girls. So I'm here in our classroom. It's pretty surreal, which is another word for kind of unbelievable, because I'm tearing down a classroom that you haven't been in 2 months. So it's been a little bit of a sad day, but I found one of my favorite books, and I always read this at the end of the year to all of my kindergartners. It's called Mrs. Spitzer's Garden, and I love this book because one reason, when I was learning to become a teacher, that's when I learned about this book. It was written about a kindergarten teacher at Tremont Elementary, not far from here. The author is Edith Patel, and her daughter was in this kindergarten teacher's classroom, so that's why it's special to my heart. It's called Mrs. Spitzer's Garden. Mrs. Spitzer's Garden. Mrs. Spitzer is a teacher. She is in room 108 of Tremont Elementary School. Inside room 108 are 6 tables, 4 circles and 2 rectangles. There is a rug in one corner with a real hopscotch squares and checkerboards woven in bright colors. There is also a size chart, a birthday chart, a gerbil in a cage, a housekeeping and dress-up corner, a row of 22 pigs for coats and backpacks, and in another corner, Mrs. Spitzer's desk. This reminds me of our classroom. At the end of the summer, Mr. Merrick, the principal, walks down the hall to Mrs. Spitzer's room and gives her a packet of seeds. Mrs. Spitzer consults her calendar and plans her daily schedule. She checks her tools. Here's the principal giving her a packet of seeds. She makes sure the soil is right, light and well drained with plenty of room for sprouting. Then Mrs. Spitzer plants the seeds. She waters them, feeds them, and makes sure they get plenty of sun. The seeds begin to sprout. That means they're starting to grow. As the plants grow, Mrs. Spitzer watches them closely. She checks daily for weeds and pests. You don't want weeds and pests in a flower garden. They could stop the flowers from growing. She knows that different plants need different things and that each plant has its own shape. Some of the plants grow quickly, pushing upward, eager and patient. Some grow more slowly, unfolding themselves bit by bit. Some plants sprout thin and tall. Some are bushy and wide-spreading. Some are bold, showy. They are brightly colored, saying, "Look at me!" Some are silvery and quiet, the color of the earth. I like how all the plants are different. It really makes your garden interesting. A few are like wildflowers and will grow anywhere you put them, and some need gentle care and special watching over. As the seasons change, Mrs. Spitzer tends her garden. And then the year is over and her job is done. But the plants will keep growing, uncurling their stems, stretching their leaves onward, and showing their faces to the sun. There they go, off they go, her little plants. Mrs. Spitzer puts away her tools, her daily calendar, and her plan book. Soon another year will start, and Mr. Merrick will once again walk down the hall with a packet of seeds for Mrs. Spitzer. She will dust off her tools and till her soil. She's packing up her room. And a new garden will begin. So if you didn't guess, Mrs. Spitzer, the packet of seeds that the principal hands her at the beginning of the year is her class list. And just like little flowers, Mrs. McDaniel gave me your names, and I planted you, and we grew together. And now it's time for you to move on to first grade, and you're going to do such great things. I love this book. It always makes me a tad bit emotional. But I want you to know how much I love all of you. And just like Mrs. Spitzer, I'm going to get a new packet of seeds, a new list of names next year, but I will always remember your names. Love you, boys and girls.